EU4 1.34 is around the corner, and I literally mean around the corner. I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out on the 24th of August, considering the Easter egg that Paradox released on their account. Let's see, maybe I'm wrong. 24th of August would be a great date to release it, just saying. Until that point though, we now know the achievements that will accompany 1.34, as well as some balance changes that are quite significant that I really want to go through. Honestly, I did this video mainly for those balance changes because they're actually quite impactful for the game, and we really need to discuss them. Let's go through the achievements. So first off, we have the brick by brick achievement, where you got to start as Denmark, enact the unified Kalmar Union government reform. So that just means go through your mission tree essentially, and own the entire Scandinavian region as your cores. Not that difficult to do, let's face it, especially since now you can integrate the personal unions with the unified Kalmar Union monarchy a lot faster. I mean, you can do it after 10 years or something like that. It's ridiculous, honestly. Then we have Super Trooper. Starting as Sweden, you got to get the allotment system. So again, you got to go through the mission tree, and then after get 80 regiments of Karelian and 40% infantry compatibility, which is honestly very easy considering the changes they did to innovativeness and quality, now the policy. Next up, assembly instructions needed, where you got to form Scandinavia, revoke the privilege of the HRE whilst being the emperor. It doesn't say that you have to do this as any specific nation, so I'm guessing it's available for anybody. Probably my favorite achievement to come, and the one that I'm definitely going to be getting as soon as the DLC is out, is a Holy Hoarder, where you got to start as the Teutonic Order and form the Mongol Empire whilst having the Holy Horde government reform. Pretty self-explanatory, definitely going to be a ton of fun, especially since forming the Crusader Horde is a total fantasy of half of our player base, isn't it, boys? Be honest, just be honest with yourself here. Then we have For the Emperor, obvious reference to the Warhammer universe. Either as Prussia or Germany, have the Empire government rank and 40,000 Marines. That means just 40 units of Marines. Not difficult at all. The freest man in the world. Ensure that no colonized provinces in the world produce slaves whilst having the War Against the World Doctrine government reform enacted. That's probably a really great achievement to get as Gotland, in my opinion. It's not nation locked, so you can do it as basically anybody, I'm guessing. Crossing the finish line. Release and play as Finland in 1444 and have a direct land connection to the Cape whilst your capital is in Nyland Uusimaa. 90% of cases you never play as releasable nations in EU4 because there's no reason to play as them, really. Here what they did is they gave you a reason to play as Finland, use that Finnish mission tree, and get that sweet achievement, since you have to release yourself in 1444, which means I'm guessing you got 2 months, right? Because you got 2 months in 1444. So really looking forward to this. I might actually do this on a stream. Let me know, guys, if you want me to do it on stream, then we can have a little bit of fun together with it. Purify the temple, starting as Riga, enact the salvific plutocracy government reform, and raid the heretic church of Rome. Okay, so I'm guessing we be going to Riga, boys, and we're taking over Rome. Seems pretty legit to me. Almost Prussian blue, as the Livonian order, form Livonia and own the territory of the North German Confederation as core provinces. In case you guys didn't know, Livonian order is Prussian. Their primary culture is Prussian. It's gonna take a few years to get all of the North German region because that's a lot of provinces. Let it go as Norway, have your capital in the Canada region whilst not owning any provinces in Scandinavia. This sounds exactly like my playthrough that I did in a couple of patches ago as Norway. You can check out the video in the description, but I did keep my lands back in Europe, so I'm gonna do a new playthrough as Norway and abandon Europe altogether. And Hanukkah Mupata, start as Mupta, convert to Judaism, and celebrate a festival. This is gonna be very RNG, not gonna lie. I mean, Mutapa itself is quite far from the Jewish lands of Ethiopia, and they might get converted. And if that does happen and they get converted, the only other Jewish provinces you might be able to get are one in Salonik in the Ottoman Empire after Granada disappears in the 1480s or something. So good luck to anyone who's trying to do this one. This is going to be very, very RNG for sure. They've also added a lot of modding stuff. They talk about a lot of these. I know most of you guys that watch the videos don't really know that much about modding in EU4, so I'm just going to keep this very short. Essentially, they make it a lot easier for mods to mod the game, adding new modifiers and effects, as you can see right here. Probably the best one is the fact that you can now completely remove a tag in game. So here's Sweden, Sweden's gone, just like that. And that's gonna make a massive difference. It's gonna make it a lot easier to mod with. Another interesting thing that they added is the fact that infantry and cavalry have breakthrough now, similar to how it works in EU4, but it is turned off by default in the base game. However, the fact that you know, it exists in the base game and it's just turned off, it means that both modders can add it in through mods and make the game a lot more interesting, as well as why would you add this if you're not planning on using it? So I'm guessing 1.35 might have some major combat rework that includes breakthrough mechanics, so looking forward to see how this actually progresses. And the juicy part is here, boys. So as you probably know, they nerfed economic quantity into the ground, and here's probably what is going to be the standing new balance for the ideas. I'm not sure they're going to change this anymore after this dev diary here. So economic now gives minus 10% dev cost reduction instead of minus 20 when you fill up all the ideas. The policy between economic and quantity gives minus 10% land maintenance modifier, not dev cost reduction. So that means that for playing toll, obviously economic is going to help, but the reality is that there's other idea sets that are actually going to perform better in a playing toll scenario now. Also, because innovative quality went up to infantry combat ability plus 15 instead of plus 10, that is a big freaking change. I'm honestly thinking innovative quality might be the new meta in the early game. Let's see, still gonna need to test this out a little bit, but definitely a game changer. Aristocratic espionage gives cav combat ability plus 15% and some nobility equilibrium. I don't think this is worth it still, simply because cavalry is still quite expensive compared to infantry, and the effective cavalry, albeit good, not that massive to deserve replacing your entire army with cavalry units, or, you know, 40% of your army cavalry units. Still, you want to have maximum 4 units, which is really redundant to have for just 4 units going aristocratic espionage. But let's get back here, because a lot of the other ideas have been rebalanced. So espionage, as you know, has been massively buffed. You get state propaganda, which offers covert action relations impact minus 100%. This is really great, especially if you're doing role-playing games, because if you're the kind of player that likes to expand a lot and uses your diplomats a lot, you're not going to give a schnaps about covert actions relations impact, like, at all. Agent training gives minus 15 advisor cost. That's pretty good. Yearly corruption minus 0.2 is massive. Honestly, for this alone, I say that espionage might actually be worth it, not just from a roleplay perspective for that matter. Privateers now gives 25% chance to capture enemy ship instead of 25% embargo efficiency. If you mix this in with the boarding policy that you have 33%, I think, chance to capture enemy ship or something like that, that is almost 50%. Well, it's above 50%, okay? So it's massive, dude. It basically means if you fight, then you also get a reason to accept vassalation plus 15 from audit check, as well as monthly favor modifier. The favor modifier is so not really amazing, but the reasons to accept vassalization plus 15 is insane. Like, legit, this is really good right here. And if you're playing, say, in the HRE and you want to unify the German Empire really fast, you really can do espionage if you want early game. It's not the best idea that you can go for, but if you want to try something different, it's not completely useless espionage now as it used to be before. Exploration idea also gives 10% subtler chance for free colonies and 25% treasure fleet income from global empire. Meh, so on these two. Trade ideas now also decreases promote mercantilism by 25% and 10% loyalty for burghers. Pretty good addition. I'd say trade was pretty buffed from before, but it's nice to see it a little bit better now, I guess. Aristocratic lowers the cost of cavalry by 20% and gives 15% cav combat ability, so they just increased the bonuses from her. National manpower now gives 15% instead of 33%, as well as minus 5% development cost. So I'm really saying this, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, aristocratic might actually be a good first military idea. Hear me out why. To replace quantity, you do get a little bit of manpower. You also get your cavalry units 20% cheaper, and you get a little bit of cav combat ability, right? And the best part is you also get 25% general cost. So listen to this, right? 25% general cost from aristocratic. You also get minus 25% general cost from your estate's privilege, and you also get minus 10% general cost from golden age, and another minus minus 10% from 100 innovativeness. So altogether, you can get 70% cheaper generals in the 1490s, early 1500s, which means that you can get 100 professionalism for like 500 mana points. I did not do the math. I don't know if it's correct, but very little mana points you can get 100 professionalism from just hiring generals, because every one general gives you 1 professionalism, right? And then, yeah, there you go. All the other bonuses as well to aristocratic, as well as mercenary manpower increased to 25 instead of 20% here, really means aristocratic is not so bad as an opener for your military ideas. Divine also gives 20% manpower in true faith provinces, and it also offers minus 5% dev cost reduction. So for theocratic nations, again, not a bad opener for your military ideas. So you go divine first, economic second, so you end up with minus 15% dev cost reduction, which is better than nothing, I guess, as well as the extra manpower helps massively, and divine ideas is pretty strong as it is for theocracies. Horde changes are negligible at best, not really amazing. Indigenous ideas have been nerfed a little bit, 15% manpower instead of 20. Plutocratic, replacing 10% mercenary manpower for minus 20% mercenary cost is really great actually, as well as free cities now gives plus 5% development cost. I'm guessing this is minus 5. If it's plus 5, that's a nerf. Why would you nerf them? No one's gonna take plutocratic then. Offensive ideas give you 10% special unit force limit and 15% land force limit, so it's a little bit of a nerf compared to the 20% land force limit from before. Quality also gives 0.5 naval tradition. That's an addition, so it doesn't replace anything. And quantity now gives only 25% manpower and 25% land force limit, 50% nerf compared to how much it was giving before, which really kind of makes quantity not worth it anymore, especially since aristocratic pretty much gives about the same with the addition of the general cost reduction, which is a massive deal, guys. Do not underestimate how amazing it is to have 100 professionalism early on, because that basically means you have 20 times you can slack in recruitment, so you get a buttload of manpower from that professionalism, and then you can just recruit generals super fast, 70% cheaper, and then just get basically as much manpower as you have military mana points. That's much it for the dev diary for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I also want to thank you all for all the support on the channel. Also guys, if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing. I do this full time, and a simple subscription really comes a long way for me. As well as if you want to support the channel, you'll find some links to my Patreon in the channel below. And until the next time, check out this awesome Florence video. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support. If anybody else would like to also support me, you will find the links in the description.